Listen and subscribe to The Table of Truth on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. All right, welcome, folks, to an inaugural episode of ToT on Gaming. I'm your host, Cameron, and I got my co-host.
Yo, what up, guys? It's Duane, aka LeBradford Smith.
Right on. We just wanted to do a little separate thing from the Table of Truth normal podcast from month to month and do a gaming podcast because I think most of us in our group, Rogue Gallery, are a bunch of gamers, and we always talk about games that we're playing, games we like, this, that, and the third. And I said, hey, why not? Let's start a new thing and see how this goes. And here we are. We're gonna talk about some games we like, games we looking forward to, and a little brief history on our gaming experience. And I'm gonna start myself. I play on a PS4 console. Been a PS4 guy since it came out. Started with Nintendo up to Genesis. We all wanted the Holy Grail, the Neo Geo system that no one can afford. Uh, yes, and looking forward to the next gaming PS4 gaming console, the PS5. I don't like Xbox unless they come out with games that I specifically like. But yeah, I'm known in the chat as the Xbox hater. Shout out to Drew. Shout out to Ed. Shout out to Pope, who's crossing over to the dark side.
Wait, Ed rocks with the Xbox?
I think he does. I'm not sure.
I think
He's
good
PS4.
question. Yeah, I think he's.
Yeah.
I know I played Diablo with him before, but yeah, I think he's PS4.
Okay. All right. Then Ed, I apologize if you do play PS4 and not Xbox. My bad. I've been gaming. When did Nintendo come out? 84?
Dude, good question. Mid 80s, maybe 84, 85.
Yeah, I'd say 84, 85 when Stick Up Kids was really in the streets. Yeah, so I've been gaming a long time. How about yourself?
Yeah, pretty much around the same time. Maybe. Well, I didn't own an Atari, but I do remember like going to like either some type of, not my friend's house, but maybe my mom went to somebody's house and they had a kid and they had an Atari. So yeah, pretty much around that time, Atari, Nintendo in the 80s, and then just been a gamer. I did take a little break in the early 2000s. You know what I mean?
Wait, why is that though?
Uh, women.
Oh,
No,
hey,
it's,
makes sense. It
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's that, and just like becoming an age, like I really had like a real childhood. Whatever, I nerded out playing games. I worked at a game store, but it got to the point where like it was like overkill. So like I needed to kind of do other things and be more social, and I was kind of getting tired of games. So maybe from like '02 to mm, I took a good decade off, to be honest, man, from gaming.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, for those who don't know who we are, what we look like, we don't look like your typical gamers.
yeah,
We do come from an era where we did go outside and play in the streets. We're into other stuff. We are a very eclectic group, but if you were to see us from afar, you would say, "Oh, these dudes don't look like gamers. They're not in anime. Blah blah blah. We're geeks and nerds, just like the rest of y'all. We just look a little different." Um,
yeah. Before it was cool. Like now, it's cool to be watching Marvel movies, reading comic books, all that
exactly.
stuff. So yeah. We the OGs.
Yeah, and you play PS4, right?
Yeah, I own a PS4.
Have you played Xbox? Are you a fan of Xbox?
I used to. I had an Xbox before. It wasn't too bad, but most of their. I think the reason why I don't really rock with it, like their exclusives, I'm not really a fan of. Like I like Gears of War, that was cool, but I think PS4's exclusives, like the God of Wars, the Last of Us, like their Spider Man, like those joints just make you they make you want to
It,
have a
it,
PS4, you know?
it hit different.
Yeah.
I remember Knights of the Republic, excuse me. That was the one game that almost made me
Get an Xbox.
get an Xbox, and Fable at the time.
Forza, I'm not gonna lie, like it got me. It had my attention. The driving game. So
Exactly. There was one or two games on Xbox that was exclusive to Xbox that I was like, oh, maybe I should consider getting an Xbox because the biggest knock on PS or the PlayStation console was the controller. They always said the Xbox controller was superior. I don't know, maybe.
Same
Um,
thing to me. Like I
yeah,
don't.
it's the
Yeah,
same.
yeah,
It's yeah, same thing to me. I played Knights of the Round Table because I was into that game. If I had an issue with the controller, I learned how to play with the controller, so
yeah.
it wasn't a big deal. Yeah, well, I guess we've been both gaming around the same time. We're from about the same age, so we're from the same era of gaming. I do remember Atari games myself. I think it was Tank Commander, ET, Pong. Everybody had that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Did you always was there a kid in your neighborhood was that was the kid that had all the games and the consoles, or was that guy that you always went to his house to let's go to such and such house to play the new game?
That ended up being me because
Oh,
of my
word.
brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like my brother's a little bit older, so he started working before everybody else, and him naturally being a gamer, he would get like he's the only person who I had. Well, he's my brother. He's the only person I know who ever bought a 3DO, and like we were the only people on the
Ooh.
block with a 3DO. That was a system that was like a G. You know what I mean?
Shout out to people who had the 3DO. That's a lost in the archive system that no one really talks about, like the Jaguar system that was trying to bring Atari back
We
in.
had a Jaguar. You
Are
know
you
what I mean?
serious?
Like, yeah, we had all those joints, yo. So we had, we didn't in the beginning stages, like the Nintendo Genesis. Like we were too young to kind of go out and buy our own stuff. Not we, my brother. But then
Mhm.
as we got, I want to say the mid '90s is when like started working, late '90s, and pretty much had every game and every system that there was.
Oh, that's what's up. Um,
But
I
yeah, I
remember.
agree. There are people around the block who you would go to and like they'll have the new game, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, there was a guy on our block. His name was Frank. I walked into his house, and it almost reminded me of walking into an electronics boutique. For those that are old enough to remember that place, I
oh
swear
yeah.
he had every Nintendo game ever imaginable. And I remember my first time seeing a Nintendo system, and my cousins had Excite Bike, the thing Doctor Rob, Gyromite,
Hmm.
and Kung Fu. And I remember
Oh,
my
kung
mom,
fu.
Kung Fu classic, right?
Yeah.
And my mom tried to pick me up from my aunt's house, and she literally had to pry me from the room because I was like, I can't leave. What is this new wave? This new technology? Being a kid, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and so from then on, I had an affinity towards gaming. Uh, but yeah, man, those systems were dope. They were. I remember looking at the gaming mag and seeing Neo Geo games, and it was just like, yo, this is like the cost
Yeah.
of my tuition. It was
We had
crazy.
we had a Neo Geo. Jeez, yo, damn.
You were that guy.
Yeah.
I would have been at your house all day.
Yeah, man.
Um. Anyway, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this chat. Part of this chat, we wanted to talk about the games we are currently playing and games that we're looking forward to. Duane, tell the people what you're currently playing. If for those who don't know, Duane has a plethora of games in his catalog.
Way
Um,
too many, bro.
way too many. But tell the audience what you're playing currently.
Right now, I kind of went back to Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. I'm playing Ace Combat, um, Streets of Rage, Fall Guys, Divinity, Original Sin Part Two, and I and Torchlight, and I just downloaded Spider Man because I want to play it and finish it. But
Mhm.
all these games were going to be put on hold for like a month or two because Madden dropped last week. But when I tell you I haven't been upset at a game in such a long time, like I literally deleted Madden off my PS4.
Wow,
Yeah.
is that bad? What are some of the things that stood out to you?
All right. Well, you just mentioned that we've been playing games since we were kids. So keep in mind, I've been playing Madden since the early '90s. So I've seen like the progression. Like I've seen the good, I've seen the bad, and the world we live in now, like everything's about a bottom line and making money. So the Madden that to me that they're putting out, it's it's kind of like gambling or like it's like a mobile game. Like you play it and there's a part of Madden called Ultimate Team. They call it MUT, and
Mhm.
players you could it's kind of like fantasy football meets trading cards. So like you could have like Barry Sanders on your team. Um, Joe Namath could be your quarterback. Like it's certain things which is cool. Like you get power ups, but I don't play Madden for that, and I'm not knocking that particular mode or ability in Madden, but I'm more of a franchise player. Like when I play Madden, I want to build my team. I want to do like a fantasy draft, get my players, and then go through a decade of that team. And last year's Madden, granted, it wasn't perfect, but there's websites and things out there where people like you could upload your stat. I guess as a new feature. So yeah, I'm more of a franchise player. I like to like go through a dynasty, kind of build your team up. And I was saying that there's websites kind of like dedicated to like uploading your stats. Pretty much everything that Madden should be doing within the game.
Yeah,
There's like out there's like third party websites where I could like upload our stats from the game and you could view it like via a link. So things like that, like I think because Mutt is Madden's or EA's moneymaker, they kind of concentrate on that. So a lot of people were complaining about the franchise mode, and rightfully so. And this past Madden, I already knew that the franchise wasn't updated by what EA told us, but I just figured the gameplay would be a lot better. But bro, it's terrible, man. It's it,
wow. And
it's
then this is
it's
coming
bad.
from a hardcore Madden player. You've been playing for years.
Yeah. And this last Madden, Madden 20, like it's probably the most I've played Madden. Like we literally played it until last week before the new one dropped. Like
Hmm.
every weekend we were playing Madden. So,
So, will you be playing the new one, or are you just gonna stick to the 20, or you just if someone give you a free copy, you ain't gonna say no?
well, I bought 21 and I realized that it had too many bugs. So I got an early copy. I paid for the new updated one. I have like an EA Play. Like I feel like I've been bamboozled, man. Like
Wait, how much did it cost?
the early edition, so you could either get the 99 or the 79. I don't know why my dumbass got the 99 one. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah. So I
wow.
and the thing is the perks. See, this should have been a warning though. The perks for either new edition is just ability to open like MUT cards. So
That's
pretty
it.
much, yeah. There's no perks for like franchise mode or anything like that. Like it's yo, you play Madden, there's no refs, there's no halftime presentation, there's no offensive, defensive, special team coaches, there's no Lambo Leap, there's no Pittsburgh Steelers terrible towel, the Raiders black hole. There's no difference from a preseason game to a championship game. Like there's no medical tent, there's no sideline. Like there's so many things that to me in this day and age with the technology they have, and keep in mind, some of these things were in previous Maddens. Like, I don't understand why it's not in this game. So,
Wait, the Lambo Leap I remember being in a previous rendition of I believe Madden. All that's not in the game, like those little nuances.
yeah, I don't even know why it says if it's in the game, it's in the game. Like, that should not be your slogan anymore.
That is false advertising.
There's no sky cam. Like, I don't even like. There's so many things you could do. You could use the sky cam as a view for replays. It's not that hard to put it on the field, and don't even use it. I just want to make sure like what I see on TV, I'm seeing in the game.
Wow,
Yeah.
I'm surprised but not surprised because um I kind of went through this with 2K, NBA 2K, Sega Sports basketball, where I feel like they're kind of doing the same thing with us. And I stopped playing in like 2K16, I think. Um, I just felt like we were just getting new sweat graphics for each player, and I'm just like, is this the selling point? And I think they made it. For me, I believe they made the game too complicated. Like they had the move stick, which was cool, but I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know about this. But it worked. But I just felt like they were finessing us, and because there isn't enough healthy competition, like EA Madden had 2K football to compete with,
Yeah.
and vice versa with
Game.
the
What was
basketball.
the other one? There was another football game too. We had like Sony had their own game, like
Oh,
Prime
game
Game
day.
Day. There we go. Yeah, Game
Yeah,
Day.
because when you got hit, there was lightning strikes,
Yeah.
and that was the year Brett Favre was on the Green Bay Packers, and they were the team to beat. But game day '97,
Hmm.
that was the game, and there was a, I guess quote unquote, it wasn't a monopoly at the time as far as football games. Everybody was competitive. 2K Sega or Sega Sports changed the game when they had in 2K5. Terrell Owens on the cover, and they had a 19.99 price point. And Madden was like, they saw the writing on the wall, and they made a move to buy the NFLPA licensing for the players, which meant that no other football game could use the names, the real names in their game. You had these bootleg or these nice looking games with bootleg numbers, and you're just
Hmm.
like, nah, I'm not playing this. I need the real, like, real deal. And so Madden took off. It was a smart move by Madden. But I haven't played a Madden since Eddie George was on the cover. Like, legit played a hardcore Madden.
That's like 2000, I think.
2001
Right?
or
Yeah.
2001?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I respect the game from afar. Uh, I watch people who do play it. Like, I watch you guys play the Twitch Super Bowl. You and Ant go back and forth.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't competitively played a football game like that in since that last rendition of Madden with Eddie George on the cover. However, I did play the Sega Sports 2K, and then when they came out with the next version of it, I was like, this ain't the same. Until they come back, I think they're trying to make a comeback as of this year to
Yeah.
put their
They
foot in the ground.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
they're coming out with they don't have the NFL license, but they have a license from the players.
Hmm.
So EA also owns the rights to they own the rights to making a simulation football game. No one
Hmm.
else could do a simulation football game. But the ironic part is EA's not doing that. They introduced something called the Yard, which is like kind of like NFL Streets.
I'm
So
good. I'm good on that.
yeah, like yo, I played it. There's no announcer. It's like it seems like lifeless. You know what I mean? I'm just like, all right. And then the selling point with that is like you could dress up your avatar. You could pay to get new shorts. So it's all a price point for them to make money.
NBA Jam set the standard for those type of games, and there hasn't been a game like that. Maybe Blitz got some buzz or whatever.
NBA Streets was cool. That was an EA game. I thought
Okay,
those games were fun.
yeah, I just felt like nothing's beating. I guess I was on my soapbox. I was like, it's NBA Jam or nothing. I'll play NBA Jam to this day. Like, if somebody
Oh
got the
yeah.
sticks, I'll jump on. But I'm not.
How is that not re-released? Why are the Splash Brothers? Why can't I play with Anthony Davis and LeBron? Like how are they not
Exactly.
capitalizing on that?
I don't know. Someone needs to remix NBA Jam with the current players, and that would be awesome. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
one thing I would say with sports games, like you said the last one you had was NBA 2K16. I know it's not easy to bring out a sports game every year. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Because you have to come out with something innovative for people to be like, all right, I'm gonna spend $60 on it.
Sounds like
So
you got a proposal. What you got?
I think like how gamers have like a season pass.
Hmm.
Like I think there should be some type of like obviously some base foundation that you buy, and then I would say every 2 years. So like you could just update it. It'll be like 2K18 through 19 or something like that, and then like when the new season's about to start, you roll out either new animations,
Yeah.
new things that you added to it. Obviously, the new teams and all that, the new audio. Like we live in an age where I think Ubisoft has spoiled me. Like I've seen what they've done with their games, with how they listen to the community, and like they're able to update their games, and like you have a season pass to like Division. Like Division, a game I never played, part one.
Hmm.
You can speak on it. Like Division dropped, and what was it? It was decent, right?
When it dropped, it was a shitstorm of bugs, but
It,
then
it
over
had
time,
potential though, right?
yeah, it had potential. I
Mhm.
stuck with it because I was the trailer. Obviously, anybody who plays games, trailers. They do what they do. They hook you. We were lied to in the trailer. I'm gonna be honest. Half the stuff we saw in the trailer did not appear in the game. However, we loved the game. It had a great story. There was a PvP aspect about it. The game lacked some things in PvE. However, the developers listened to the best of their ability and tried to make that game better each year with patch updates. Some patches had broken mechanics, and some were just good. And then some people were complaining and they nerfed a lot of things. But they learned. They tried to build a better game, and over time, when they came out with the Division 2, they made it for the casual player, the person that played the campaign mode, and gave them more meat and potatoes in the game, but it kind of took away from the PvP aspect of it. And so those hardcore players from the first one kind of just stepped back and was like, this game isn't for me anymore, which is understandable. But like, a lot of the people in our circle of friends who game that didn't play the Division 1 as hardcore as I did came to Division 2 and are playing it much more than I am playing. Which goes to say that they kind of changed the game. But to your original point, yes, they listened, they evolved the game, and they got better over time. Some people that quit the game came back to play the game again and was like, okay, it's not that bad. You told me For Honor was like this. I have bad feelings about For Honor. Maybe I still have the game. It's in my house, but maybe I'll pop it back in and see what's up. But
Yeah,
those type of games, if the developers listen and the gaming community is putting out a good information and feedback, then you can improve in the game. I'm still waiting on Anthem to get its thing together. But that's another pot for another day. But yes, I agree. I always thought sports games um, shouldn't come out every year because I'm like, how can you improve on it? Like it's like unless it's a vast improvement,
yeah,
like just put more animations, put the rookies because back in the day when we had to put the player up, like when we went to college players and we had the old game, you could go online, put your uh I guess USB drive and save the new roster that was updated on the Sega Sports site, and then plug that into your PS3 at the time, and then get the new rosters. But now it's like you're a PlayStation subscriber, you get the automatic update,
oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
People make their custom updates and you could
yeah,
download it.
you could
So
download it. So that was
yeah,
the way we did it back in the day. But yeah, I agree. It should be like a every other year, every 2 year thing where like it just uploads the new players, the new logos, the new moves or whatever, and kind of tweak it without having a person having to spend every year $59.99 on a game. Because that was me. I used to buy the game every year, and I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. And so, I would buy it. Like I remember when 2K had the Jordan challenge, and Jordan was in the game. That was a big deal. That's a big change. I'm a Laker fan. Kobe's on the cover, and we had Dwight Howard and Steve Nash. That was a big deal, even though we played terrible. But what I'm saying, it has to have some type of pull for me to just drop my money because I started getting wise. I was like, they ain't really doing anything
yeah,
crazy. It's just sweat on socks, and the selling point is, oh, you can play with the new rookie. I mean, when they had the reveal for the new 2K20, it was just Zion dunking 21, excuse me, and then and I was like, that's it? Y'all not gonna show no gameplay? Just okay. So here we are. But I'm surprised to hear Madden has kind of dropped the ball. But I kind of felt like that. I was like, yo, Madden is they can do whatever they want right now because they're the ones and people are just gonna blindly buy it, but
yep.
because it's the only game out, it's the only quality football game out. So I'm just surprised that it's been getting bad reviews. I haven't heard this many bad reviews about a sports game since the NBA Live tried to come out, and that was bootleg.
Yeah, and that I'm getting flashbacks to that because I'm like, yo, this could make or break not EA, but like this the NFL. They're listening. You know what I mean? Like the NFL, they don't want their property or their shield to look damaged, so they might be like, yo, what the hell's going on, EA? Like, why why are you getting these bad reviews? So they
Yeah,
they got to step it up, man.
yeah, they still got soccer. I don't know about the hockey game, baseball. I mean, those type of games, I'm kind of like whatever.
I
But
think
FIFA,
baseball is. I think Sony owns that
okay,
the MLB games.
MLB. Yeah, I don't know what the like hot baseball, hockey. Like I do want to get back into a hockey game because I used to play NHL '94. I think
Hockey by EA is actually they have a good franchise mode. Like it,
I think
yeah, it's not bad.
NHL '94 is the greatest sports game ever made, in my opinion. And I'm not even a hockey guy, but when I bought that game, that was the game. But
Yeah,
yeah,
fun.
maybe I'll make a comeback if 2K comes back to football. Maybe I'll make my return. What I was gonna say is there any games that you're looking forward to playing that's not out yet?
Um, not yo Madden pretty much just ruined my. I'm just waiting for the PS5 to be honest, kind of seeing what they're gonna roll out. But um, obviously Cyberpunk's on the list, but
Preach,
I'm
preach.
more hyped for what's gonna be released with the next, I guess, hardware.
Next gen consoles for sure.
Yeah,
Let's see. What have I been playing? I mean, I played God of War when it came out, but that was like a year or two ago.
yeah.
Uh,
Damn, like 2 years ago. Yeah.
2 years ago, Spider-Man. I was playing. I still need to finish that. I was playing near Automata or near Automata, however you want to pronounce it. I played Ghost of Tsushima. Awesome game. Very, very beautiful looking game. I was playing some Metal Gear. Currently, I just finished Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm playing right now. I'm in the in between phase of like waiting on my Cyberpunk 2077 to come out.
When is that dropping?
I cannot tell you off the hand, but I think it's dropping this year. I want
Yeah.
to say November.
Okay.
I don't quote me on that. Richter, if he's hearing this, he's probably gonna curse me out for not knowing. Uh,
November 19th is
November 19th. Okay.
yeah.
So right now I'm playing Fall Guys and Rogue Company, which is another game that's in. I think it may be out today, free. So for those who couldn't get beta access, go to Epic Games or go into the PlayStation Store, see if there's a free version of Rogue Company, and that's kind of like Fortnite meets Division, third person Counter Strike type of game. You know, if that makes any sense. And Fall Guys is just a fun. I don't know how to explain Fall Guys. It's party game like
Mhm.
think Mario Kart crawl meets a Wii game. I don't know. I don't know how to explain. It's just a fun little game with a bunch of little challenges, and it's not anything serious. It's the type of game that you can kind of chat and not pay too much attention, but you're trying to win, and it's it's fun. It's competitive, but it can also be frustrating, but not to the point where you're like, man, I really want to beat this. It's just like, oh, I lost, whatever. We'll just wait till the next round.
Yeah,
So
there's
I'm
not many games that make casual and competitive players come together. So like you could be a person who never plays games and you'd be like, yo, this is actually fun. So it has that perfect balance where it gets both attentions, you know?
Exactly, exactly. So those games have been keeping me busy till Cyberpunk 2077 comes out, and then I'm going dark. Like, uh,
Baby's gonna be crying, you be like, oh, what? I can't
well,
hear
no,
you.
I'm gonna be
My
playing
headphones are on.
Vampire Hours when that game comes out. But Ghost of Tsushima was the last game I played, and I think I completed that 100% because it was just a really good. Oh, Red Dead! I forgot. Yeah, we had a running joke in our chat. We need to stop chasing pelts and just beat the game. And I finally completed that game. Beautiful game. Wasn't my favorite game, but it was well worth my money. And there's still things I still haven't discovered in that game, but the game is completed. Beautiful storyline. I have my issues with it, but it's nitpicking at this point because I can have my issues with Ghost of Tsushima as well on a different aspect, but I still enjoy the game. It still didn't deter me from playing it. I was gonna say, any favorite games from your past that any system that you like to remember fondly of?
Um, good question. Like, I'm trying to think of a game that's like not
I think
super known.
Diablo with you guys. Like,
Oh yeah, like Diablo and Left 4 Dead. Like we had a lot of fun with those games. Like Left 4 Dead was like a horror. It's pretty much a horror game, and you have to survive. And you play with three of your friends, so it's four of you guys. And there's different modes. Like you go through the game together. It's kind of like if you were playing Division, but a horror based game. But that I love that game, yo. But yeah,
that's what
Diablo was an amazing time as well.
that's what's up. I think my game. I think there's two, maybe three. Um, from the old Super Nintendo, Secret of Mana. That was one of my favorite games.
Yeah, that's a classic.
It's a toss up between Secret of Mana and Chrono Trigger, one of my all time favorite games. God of War, the most recent rendition of God of War was amazing on a multitude of levels. Um, and more recently, Near Automata. That was a game that I didn't think too highly of, didn't look like much until I played it, and it's a much deeper game than what it appears to be. And it made me go back and look into the lore of that game to understand the world of the game that I was currently playing. Um, Beautiful game, beautiful storyline. It's just levels to that game. I highly recommend it to anybody that does not have a game to play and has some downtime. It's not a hard game to play. I think it should be super cheap, but don't the one thing I can tell you guys, if you do complete the game, keep playing the game. That's all I can say. Like, just keep playing the game. There's levels to that game. To see the real beauty of that game, you have to beat it more than once. But yeah, those
Yeah.
are the games that I look fondly back in my gaming history. That I'm like, yo, those are games that I'm like recommend, even though they're out of date. I would say those are games worth playing.
Yeah, I think another game that stuck with me was Xenogears, the
Oh
first one.
yeah,
Like that,
yes.
I really love that game. It the storyline was amazing, and it just makes you question things. Like you kind of like you fall for the characters. That was a great game, and there was another game for the PS2 made by Konami called
Akari
Shadow.
Brothers. No.
Oh, no, it was called Shadow of Destiny, or I think in Japan it was called Shadow of Memories.
Okay.
And the game, you literally die throughout the game, but then you have to backtrack and like stop yourself from getting killed. So it's like a time travel game, kind of like backwards, kind of like a Memento, like the movie.
I feel like they have a movie coming out that's like that with Denzel Washington's kid. Tenet.
Hey, it's already out, bro.
It is.
Yeah,
Tenet's out.
yeah. It came out I think 2 weeks ago in the theaters.
We're gonna talk offline about that, but
But
all right.
the cool thing with that game is like no one has the same ending. So like I remember Anthony used to come to my house and play the game, and he beat it before me. I'm like, bro, why are you in my apartment and why are you beating my games before me?
That's
So
like wearing your clothes before you even wore them.
word, I'm like, yo, man, like who ate my food? But so he beat it, and then like when I played it, he was like, yo, I didn't get that ending. So like games like that, like they kind of stick with you. You know what I mean? Like it's not super popular, and at the same time, it kind of like the game you mentioned, the one made by SquareSoft.
Secret of Mana or Chrono Trigger?
No, the other one, the atom, near,
Oh, near Automata. Yeah,
yeah. So it's like games like that where they're not super popular, but you you have like some type of connection to it. You know?
yeah. It's weird. You'd have to play it, and it's one of those games that's like, dude, this game is way deeper than what I thought, and it was very enjoyable, even to the very, very end. The more and more I played it, the more and more in depth it was, and I got into it just that much, and I enjoyed it. It was a very, very well laid out game. I forgot the name of the creator of that game.
Yeah.
He wears a mask, so he's one of those eclectic cats. But like the more
Like
you
he
read about,
always wears a mask. Like
yeah, like in his interviews, he's a strange cat. I can't think of his name. It forgets. I
damn.
can't forget. Yeah, it's just one of those dudes. He wears a mask in his interviews. He's kind of like the MF Doom of game creators. So, but yeah, those games are the ones that I think back on fondly and speak highly of. So, with that, I think we're gonna wrap it up for our first rendition of TOT Gaming Chat. I'm your host Cameron, aka Hotep Vegeta, and my co-host.
What up, Duane? Yo, real quick, I just want to say if you guys haven't checked out High Score on Netflix, since we're talking about video games, like it's pretty cool. It's I think it's about 6 episodes, and it kind of starts with the beginning of the games, and it goes to like 3D graphics and like how games have changed throughout the years. But I hope they make a season two. But it was a great series.
Definitely, we'll check
High
out.
Score on Netflix.
All right. And that's a wrap, folks. We are out.